Episode. Nobody beats the house.
Hey, did you know that you could help support our future projects and let everyone know you're a fan of what we do? Check out our print-on-demand store. We have a tab here on YouTube. When you click on it, you can choose from a bunch of different items we have, shirts and posters and coffee mugs. Click on the one you like. When you find the design you want to put on it, choose a color and a size if it's appropriate. And when you purchase these items, a portion goes to help fund our future projects. We really do appreciate your support. You get some cool stuff. When you get that stuff, post pictures here and on other platforms, and we'll hook you up next time you order from our Gear website store. Thank you for your support of gunwebsites.com.
At Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour. I think my mic is working. Okay. So thanks everybody for joining us live. We're going to attempt to do what we did yesterday, except do it today. All right, so how are we going to do that? We're going to open up the thing over here, and I will just sort of describe what the situation is. Oh, I guess I'm not logged into this channel, so let's make that happen first. Logged into the Daily Gun Show channel. All right, so I guess that'll give me time to say we go live every weeknight at midnight. We do that for a couple of reasons. Every weeknight so that we can get some stuff accomplished. Our goal is to do something with this show, not just go live and complain and moan and shoot the shit, but actually accomplish some things with this internet and the opportunities that we have, people being able to communicate with each other and work together. So we go live every weeknight. We go live. So we could be doing this as a produced video. It'd actually be a lot less hassle to record these videos, spruce them all up, make us look perfect. Never post anything that doesn't poll well or work good for the the focus groups. And then the opposite of that is to go live and use this interactive nature of the internet. Go live at midnight each weeknight, so that way we own this time slot. Nobody really bothers us. So there's a couple of people that try to work off this time slot, but not too many people in this community that are up this late. And that limits people, but it also gives us the cream of the crop, the people that are up overnight doing things that reset the planet, that rebuild and replenish all the stuff that's taken for granted by the folks that just stay awake during the day. All right, well, that being said, I am going to open up the description of this, or I'm going to edit this video. We're going to edit the description of this video, and this is effectively what I tried to do yesterday, but I did not save it enough time. So we got about 45 minutes in, and my computer glitched, or my internet glitched, or let's blame Nancy Pelosi, and lost a bunch of data. So we're going to attempt to gain, to go faster than we did yesterday, right? All right, so the goal is to archive everything that happened in 2002 that was something to do with Second Amendment. Is that possible? Well, we're going to attempt to do it by going back through our Friday shows. Our Friday show is an effort to archive what happened that week through the eyes of other content creators, right? No poll question? Nah, I didn't set one up. I guess I could, I suppose. But I wanted to just dig in. So it took 45 minutes to get barely halfway through yesterday. And it only got to like May or something, I think. And then the glitch happened. So got two screens open here. Feel free to help me out with stuff I might be missing, or help me if you can figure out ways to help out through the thing. Otherwise, keep me company here as we start this thing. I'm going to try to bring this over a little bit, see if this works. And I don't feel like I'm yelling across the room. I don't know if that works for the audio better or not, but let me know. Otherwise, what we're going to do is dig into the Daily Gun Show channel, then head to the playlist for the Friday weekly wrap-ups, and zoom all the way to the bottom of the list, which is the January 7th, 2022 wrap-up. And we're going to use the descriptions of these videos to support our future projects and to tally up everything that happened for the year. So let's see. It'll give us an opportunity to summarize the year. Very long format. It'll take a while. All right, so we got a bunch of different links in here. Let's see. New ATF rule published on braces and frames. I think that was one of the things that came up towards the beginning there. I wasn't going to list events, but maybe I will this time. I don't know. It's going to be long. We only get 5,000 characters in YouTube, so maybe I won't. Could always do another one with events, but just as easy to do one going forward with events also. I guess it could be interesting to do a look back at the year. All right, so there was this 2A, I found this 2A content summit that had happened in September of the year before, and I couldn't find where that ever came back. So you know what, I'm going to look and see if that ever did come back anywhere. Just do a quick search on the internet for it. 2A content summit page is gone. The site is gone, so I guess it's not around anymore. All right, so so the Supreme Court had been challenging the shot mandates, and then the ATF final rule on braces and frames had been published. So I'm going to put one thing in here called national 2A issues, and then we'll do state level 2A issues, and then another one probably. So let's start off with little equal sign things. About 3 or 4 equal signs is a good break in YouTube. I'll just hit enter a couple of times and paste and enter and paste. So we got national level 2A. Maybe I should be doing this somewhere like Substack where I can just right away put in formatting. But now we'll put in state level. At least I can learn a little bit from all the stuff we did yesterday. And there'll be more. I just can't remember what they are. So let's go on to the next one. So we'll close that one. And now we're going to the February 4th. Now, this isn't the beginning of the weekly wrap-ups. I must have just started another playlist for these because we did this. This is the 100th something weekly wrap-up. Or we're up to the 100th, so that's like two years worth of them. And I don't know, is this thing just zoomed in funny? I'm not really going to mess with the zoom too much because it's already goofy and I want to be able to read this stuff. So it's not going to be super useful as a visual tonight, but you might want to read the comments or whatever. Oh, everybody's joining us. Welcome. Wield is out there. Milsurp is out there. DJ, thanks for joining us. Roy is out there. Second one in. Mike White was here earlier. Said he was going to sleep by now, so he's just listening to this in the future if he's listening. What short are we talking about? All right, so then we got ATF rules on receivers and braces. So that was January, February of the year. So I think that was one of the things. Man, this is going to be tough. Why is this being so hard to copy? Yuck. So I'm going to make one of these things ATF issues because we got Steve Diddleberger and whatnot. ATF issues, I guess. All right. Yes. All right. And then we got the rules on frames and braces. So I guess that's not there. Testing of Biden's smart gun technology. I don't know what that was about. That didn't go nowhere, did it? That guy, JP, posted his video about being wrong about guns. Everybody thought that was so cool. 2.23 million views. I wonder if that helped anything. We got the overnight number 27 earlier in the year. The Williams Family Museum was doing their thing earlier in the year. Barbecue had been doing his weight loss chats on the last week of each month. It would have been cool if he kept doing that. It's tough to do stuff when you have to plow through. If you're just, it's not like super trendy, popular thing or whatever. So I think I'm going to open up a bunch at one time. It's lame opening, going back and opening these. So as I open these, they're going to keep opening kind of next to each other. And it's kind of what I did yesterday. And I didn't save the YouTube thing here enough. So I'm going to try to remember to do that. So I don't know how many of these I'm opening. I guess I'll open up through June. And then we'll see what kind of stuff comes up. So I have to open the tab, pause the stupid video from playing. What I guess I'll do is let the video play. Wow, this is really killing my internet. Maybe I shouldn't open that many. I'm going to turn the volume down to nothing. I'm going to mute the video. And now when I pause it again, that should carry over to the other browser windows. Like that setting should be remembered. So we'll find out. So this was good. I had a constitutional carry update here, and I remember there's going to be another one now that I'm looking at this. That's super annoying when it jumps all around. It's not even zoomed in. I guess it's because of how I got the screen here. Okay, Milsurp is saying I posted a short 50 minutes ago, and it's already up to almost 500 views. Oh, right on. Yeah, shorts can be very effective. In fact, what I'm going to recommend, if you're sitting here right now watching me, clearly I'm not going to be able to. Oh, don't post links to gun shops on my channel, please. I know other people are cool with that, but I don't want links to gun shops in my chats or on my channel, so I'm going to kill them if you don't mind, or if you would, just delete that one. But I don't want any direct links to gun shops on my chat. It's just I don't want to get anywhere near that YouTube policy or whatever. And if a gun shop does other stuff, I'll set up the way YouTube might. I just don't want it to be a thing. Anyway, the thing is jumping all over on me. The what was this one? It's February's. This summary I did for the constitutional carry states is going to be better in a few weeks or a few months, so I'm just going to wait to put that in there. But effectively, I guess some of these are okay. We had Alabama, Ohio.
FearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches every Friday. It's Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support.
So I guess that audio did not follow through, but it's definitely taken way too long for these things to load, so I'm just going to close them all. So I got to go back to wherever the heck this one was. Man, this is killing my browser. Just having those open or what? Oh, I guess what I was getting at, though, when I got distracted there for a minute. But I'm going to challenge everybody, if you're listening to something like this, because, again, I'm really just narrating what I'm doing here, and this is going to take probably 45 minutes or something for me to catch up to just where I was yesterday. And then I'll see if this coffee kicks in and I want to keep going or not. But open up your own off your phone or something. I guess if you're listening to this, it might be a pain unless you got a couple of phones like DJ's doing. But open up your phone, open up your own videos. There's a little button underneath your video that'll say create, I think. Haven't done it in a while. It'll say create, I think. It looks like a goofy yin-yang looking thing. And then you click on that. It'll let you create a short off of your own video. Here's what I'm going to recommend. Just literally skip to anywhere in the middle of that video. I mean, if you really feel like it, go point at something interesting in the video. If you remember some interesting part of your video, you shouldn't have enough videos that you can remember every interesting part of them, by the way. But find someplace on your video, literally just randomly, and then take 15 seconds. The next screen, you can type stuff on the screen like words. Type in something like, can you believe this? Or wow. Or, just anything that might attract attention. And then go to the next screen, give it a title. And it hardly matters because I don't think there's even a place to see the title of a short. But give it a descriptive title. And then schedule it for some time in the future. Pick Thursdays. And then Thursdays at 2 p.m. or something. And then for the whole show you're listening to, pick random videos of yours, pick random 15-second segments, pick random Thursdays at 2 p.m. to let those things drop and see what happens. And then the next time you watch a show or the next time you're driving in the car, do the same thing, randomly pick videos, randomly pick 15-second segments, and then pick Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Just pick some different times in the week and schedule them week after week after week until you are done or your appointment's over or the thing you're listening to or you get sick of it, but do that as a way to incrementally add scheduled shorts from your own videos, right, randomly into the future. And shorts are not like regular videos. That's like throwing fishing hooks out there. Sometimes they're going to work, sometimes they ain't, but I recommend don't put a lot of effort into those shorts. I mean, if you're really interested in it, have fun. But if you really just want to engage the system and not put a lot of effort into it, don't. Just engage the system. And those shorts are definitely going to be rocking and rolling in 2023. YouTube is definitely trying to compete with the TikTok and the Instagram circles, whatever those circles are called, stories or something. So anyhow, I'm going to grab Alabama's, Ohio's, and Indiana's ranks or whatever constitutional carry things and put them in here. And then, of course, Georgia becomes the last one. Somebody yelled at me today and said that they're now up to 27 states and how like Ohio is going to be the 28th. And I'm like, oh, wow, I guess somehow a bunch of states got constitutional carry and I didn't notice. So we had Georgia also, and I'll put that in here. And then I get the date, like I say, in a few videos future from this. Minnesota constitutional carry and stand your ground. I don't know why I put that in there. This was Minnesota had this specific situation where the one senator was holding up or didn't allow for hearings on some 2A related things. I think that's how that worked. Suicide prevention Saturday. I don't know how long we've been posting that each week, but not as long as Brooke Cheney's been doing that show every Saturday. Oh, they'll almost always flatline. You're talking about shorts out there, performing and then dying. That's how they are. That's the nature of them. I don't know if they get shared or if they just catch little trendy waves. But seriously, I wouldn't put too much effort into trying to figure them out. That's like trying to figure out the way that the waves are going to crash. You can kind of figure these waves are going to do that, those waves are going to do that. But each individual wave, you could drive yourself nuts trying to guess what each wave is going to do. But if it's stormy, the waves are going to behave this way. And if it's calm, the waves are going to be different. Well, right now it's not stormy. It's just, it's good surf. So this is a good time to be using what you can use out of the shorts feature. So Santee, I think I've talked about Santee's kind of situation this year. She's had an interesting situation. I'm sure other people have as well. It's just one that I happen to have been paying attention to. Professor Yamane has done quite a bit this year. Let's see, Congress forcing universal background checks through the Senate. So I don't know what happened to that, but does anybody remember that one? This was the second year of the builders. What do they call that thing? The builders match or the builders something or another for 3D building? The makers match? I think that's what they call it. This is freaking me out with this whole stack and everything. I'm used to all this stuff being next to the video, and it's all under the video. All right, so now we have Alabama. We already had in there, but we finally get Georgia coming in as state number 25. I guess I didn't put the dates for any of these, but I don't really need to. No. Let me see. I'll go put the goes into effects in here. So copy. Can I just push them? Let's see if I can just push them. That'll be a lot faster. Nope. So I got to copy and paste. And then do that. And then let's see, Ohio goes into effect June. So this one already went into effect. I think the only one, do we know when Georgia goes into effect or went into effect? Oh no, Alabama doesn't go into effect until January 1st. So they're about, even though they were the first ones to pass, they're the last ones to actually get it. Milsurp saying I edit this video up in about 15 minutes. So good to see it's doing pretty good, especially when we were just filming what we were making for dinner one night. Oh, is that the meatloaf one or whatever? I think I did see that one. Was that what it was? Like you made a meatloaf and then put bacon on it or something and then squirted it with vinegar? They never did none of that shit when I was a little kid. Let's see. So no backdoor. Okay, so this was a bunch of stuff with, and I was posting the percentage chance. So at the national level, there's stuff that gets enacted, and then there's the bills, right? The bills that don't get enacted. Is it worth archiving all of these crazy bills that didn't get enacted, like HR 6817? Come on, let me just drag and drop. Let me drag and drop. Stupid. Let me drag and drop. Let me try that again. Dang it. So copy and paste. So let me see if I can do it with keyboard commands this time. So copy, paste. All right. So none of this stuff happened, but at least it was presented, right? We had the No Backdoor Gun Control Act, the Home Defense and Competitive Shooting Act, and the NFA SVS Act. So I guess I was wondering yesterday if barbecues 2A Women Wednesday spanned into just this 1 year, or if it was went into 2021. And this says that Mary was number 14, so that's something like 14 weeks in April. So I guess it was this just all in 2022. Oh yeah, save, thanks. Appreciate that. I'm not even sitting here thinking about that. So DeSantis in Florida, I'm definitely not going to put that kind of stuff that just annoyed people that didn't ever happen. Train and learn event. So yeah, see, I don't know if I should be putting these things in here. I might as well. It's driving me nuts. I can always delete them if I have to, but so I'll put the events down here, and I'll have to remember about, well, I think the other one is in May also. The mingle. Well, let's see. So there was Wanamaker. The Get Off My Lawn podcast had quite a few episodes. Could probably do a whole nother video just talking about the different projects, because Riding Shotgun with Charlie had his. He had that collaborative thing with Meet the Pressers going. All right, so it went from March to April, and then you get to April 22nd. See, now it's kept the mute. What do you call that? Like the mute. I don't want to call it a characteristics. Anyway, the default is flipped to whatever the last player was set to, so we effectively got rid of the noise popping up every time I open a window. So Ghost Gunners replies to the Ghost Gun Kit ban. So then we got, look, this was actually a good interview if I remember right. Bunch of more. Stuff with, in this one I tried to, it looks like, post a bunch of quotes and stuff from the videos. That couldn't work very long because there's only 5,000 characters in YouTube, so it runs out of characters. When I remember yesterday seeing Yeager's post about kind of going with the public. You know, I think he may have been he's not yet diagnosed, but he may have ALS, and then we know that he passed later in the year. So that came up and happened in 1 year. We also had the passing of Dave Kopp from the Arizona Citizens Defense League, which was very sudden. And I'm going to say effectively crippled the Arizona Citizens Defense League. I know they're not going to want to hear that, but effectively crippled the Arizona Citizens Defense League. It's a pretty major blow in the realm of state level organizations, although it's not like they collaborated all that much at a big level. But, and then we had Ed Levine from Virginia Citizens Defense League, the one that created Arizona Citizens Defense League. So, and Ed was their media guy. Dave was the president. And those are some major chunks out of the community this year. In fact, I should probably put a section of this as a commemorative to them. If I'm missing people who passed this year, let me know. This is just people I happen to be, paying attention to that I saw show up in here. All right, so then we had the overnight, number 33. So those happen every other week. So that means he's been doing that show for quite a while. So Brooke Cheney doesn't number her episodes, I don't think. So I'm not sure how many weeks hers is. Florida got rid of Disney. That was an interesting thing. Cam Edwards had a horrible thing happen in his life with his family. Also, Sheriff Lamb from Arizona. I don't know how many people know about Sheriff Lamb, who is sheriff here in Arizona. He's been pretty outspoken as an advocate of rights. His son and the granddaughter were involved in drunk driving, and they've passed. So he had a horrible situation with his family recently. So, not to dwell on that stuff, but it affects the situation, and it is part of, the history of what happened this year. Let's see. Started finding Cape Gunworks, it looks like, back in April of this year. A pretty cool radio show out of Massachusetts. Like I say, there's probably, you could do a whole thing. Professor Yamane should do something about everything he's done this year. He just moved at the end of the year, so I don't know if he's got it in him. Honda's up there being weird. Looks like Honda went to Rumble. I think he got kicked off of YouTube or something for a while. I won't put everything in here about the military podcast, but man, you could do a lot worse than listen to some of these military podcasts. The insight is insane. like the stuff that you learn about the way that everything went down and the way stuff works is crazy. So now I'm busting into April 29th, episode 1295. I still have to pause these things. I guess it's autoplay. I don't know if I can stop that from happening, but I think it's a little more responsive when I'm doing these one at a time. It's super frustrating having to scroll down and click on show more. I have some crap in the browser, I think, that is connected to YouTube to show me all these stupid stats all the time, and I don't really use them, so it's kind of annoying, and I don't know if that's wasting time or not. Well, let's see. So we got more of the same. Oh man, did I just open up the same one? I did. So thanks, wasting all that time. Next up will be May 6th. Let's see. G23 is saying, I think I'm going to put more work into my channel in 2023, be a little more professional, not so much BS shows. I don't know. There's a fine line there. When you're going to be, there's a fine line there. If you make it too fancy in any direction, let's say you make it anything in any direction, then people are going to pigeonhole you and they're going to go, oh, well, you're going for that? Well, you're not all the way there yet. And unless you're ready for a lot of quote unquote helping yourself, giving you help. In other words, just people who are going to take the opportunity to be a jerk. And you're going to get a whole bunch of like, oh, you're trying to do it like this. Well, you're not there yet. You're trying to do it like that. Well, you didn't succeed. As long as you can deal with that, it sounds like, oh yeah, no big deal. I got a thick skin, but it gets annoying. It just gets lame. So you got to have either the real interest or an ability to take the annoyance, because it's not really abuse as much as just annoyance. Anyhow, from people that, like I say, if you try to be professional, then they're going to do that. If you're trying to be accurate, then they're going to complain about that. If you're trying to be current, they're going to complain about that. If you're trying to be, anything, then they're going to complain about it. At least as you get larger. If you don't reach for growth, then people who are trying to there's people that'll build, there's people that'll observe, right? And there's all these different types of people. The people that want to knock you down, those are the ones that are annoying. So if you try to build in front of some people, they're just going to knock you down because you're trying to build. And that's the ones you just got to get rid of. You got to get callous to the casual, like, drive-by knockovers. Like, they're not going to even stick around to see what they did. They're just going to knock it over and keep moving, and it just gets annoying. And if you build walls so that they can't, then it gets super lame and complicated. And there's nothing you can do on platforms. Those people are always going to be around. So I'm searching through here, and I'm finding a lot of updates and people talking to people. But really, it's just a lot of not mobilizing, not any leadership. It's just a lot of observation. It's a lot of fucking off. Well, here's the gun prom. So that's a real thing. Gun prom, June 18th. So that was a situation where, something happened in the realm that was new. Well, I don't know, it's not brand new, but it's new to the scene, and it got more attention this year than it has in the past. It's just a bunch of people talking about stuff and offering their opinions on stuff. And that's the problem. When you got all new people joining the mix, then you're going to spend a lot of time talking about everything again. When you've got, I should probably remember which one I've been opening. I'm going to go to May 20th. I'm going to do it like that. Maybe we'll see if that works. So when you got a bunch of new people, then you can just sit around getting everybody up to speed. And then by the time they're bored and they leave, you can just say the same thing over again. You just get everybody up to speed. They get all bored and leave, and you just bring a bunch of new people up to speed. So nothing really gets done. Let's talk about smiling. 500% increase in FFL revocations. I don't know why this is all in capital. Hopefully we'll find one that's not all in capital soon. How do you get rid of stuff from being all in capital? One way is to shove it into a search bar, into a search engine or whatever. And often it will, well, not always, I guess. Sometimes it will, no, it's keeping the capitalization. Sometimes it'll change it to lowercase just in that, but it didn't work this time. So I'll put it in here with the stupid capitals. It looks stupid. So there was that, and that would have been in May. So I guess I'll just put in here May so they can kind of have some reference. I don't know when the ATF rules came through. That was way early. And it's not so much the nasty comment, it's the sandblasting of annoyance. Because it's not always nasty. Sometimes it's, here's what also can be annoying. Hey, what's the caliber you like? Or something, just some question that gets on your nerves, and everybody asks, hey, what's the grip angle on that? Hey, what's the retail price of that? Hey, where do I buy that? Like, whatever it is, it's going to get on your nerves at some point, and you don't even know about it because it's, you can't contemplate what it might be, but it'll be out there, and it'll be like 8 things, and that's where you gotta, that'll be the thing that makes it like, man, why am I even doing this? I gotta listen to this again, or I gotta answer this again. Or if you start ignoring it, then it becomes, I could have even answered my questions. All I asked him was why he didn't like the orange one, or why the 12 gauge is better. People don't have to have any reason to imagine why a million other people have asked that same question, and you get sick of answering it. They just want to know the answer. And I think that's why sometimes people end up being kind of standoffish, because they're just go into robot mode and they clear their mind and they just say, I like 12 gauge. I like 12 gauge. I like 12 gauge all day long. So again, I'm mostly just posting the shows that were worth listening to. A lot of interviews, trying to give an array of different stuff out there, but nothing in that one about actual policy or anything. So I'm gonna see if I can't do this kind of jumping back and forth situation now, where I open up one and then use that to remember which date the other one should be or something. All right. Alan West ran against Wayne LaPierre. So I don't know if anyone remembers when Alan West was willing to run against Wayne LaPierre. Where would I put that? It's not really a state level, and it's not a national. So I'll say the 2A.orgs get their own little place here, because they've done some stuff this year. So 2A.orgs, and then whatever. So NRA. I can't even keep track of what all happened with the NRA. I wonder if that's going to show up in any of these. Let's see. So there was a testimony for the Jackson Elias Domestic Violence Survivor Protection Act, and that was in May, and that was, does anybody remember where the Jackson Elias Domestic Violence Survivor Protection hearing or Act hearing was? I mean, that wasn't Connecticut, that was national level, I think. So I'm going to put that under national. And I'm going to say there's the pro bills and national pro bills, yeah. And then there's the anti. Oh, no, that was supposed to go under bills, pro. All right, and save all this stuff. Oh, shit, save all this stuff. Here's what I'm going to do in addition. I'm going to highlight it all, copy it, open up a notepad over here, because I'm super paranoid now. Spent 45 minutes yesterday. I'm already up to 40 minutes. I don't even think I'm as far as I was yesterday. I thought I was going to be even further ahead. Anyway, I just copied it all into this notepad. And now I'm going to go over here and save the notepad so that it's literally saved at this point on my computer. And then I can just keep updating the notepad every once in a while. So this is 2022 2A stuff. And then save. Now that notepad is saved, and it's saved on YouTube. Everything's good to go. So where was the domestics thing? And I'll just put a thing on here for May, because honestly, it's not that big a deal, but I just don't remember if it was Connecticut or if it was the whole country. Definitely riding shotgun with Charlie and Meet the Pressers doing their collaborative show throughout the year. That went pretty good. Riding shotgun with Charlie also did Writing Shotgun with Charlie, where he started interviewing people to do written interviews. The new pistol brace rule, I guess we already had the pistol brace stuff. So I guess the receivers and then ATF rules on braces, that was actually two different things. So instead of making it seem like, oh yeah, let's do that, let's make sure that that gets recognized as two separate infringements that the out of control agency on the executive side is running around doing. What is constitutional carry? There we go. FFL revocations up 500%. So now I can get rid of this horrible all capitalized version, which sucks. Okay, so the Federal Firearms Licensing Act, federal gun permits. So that was a bill that was passed. And I'm guessing that was also in, is this May? This is May. Must have tools. John Lott was out there talking about where the mainstream media is marginalizing gun owners, moving the Overton window. All right, and then we'll go to the 27th. So the next one will be June 3rd. So maybe we're about where we were yesterday, but I feel like we have a lot less stuff copied down here. Maybe I have it a little bit better organized, but what good is it if it's not as much stuff? So we'll open this up. Melserp saying, I can't wait to see how empty the NRA's booth is going to be at SHOT. Need to support more groups like gun owners and FPC. Well, whatever. NRA at SHOT Show. Actually, they usually have pretty big booths. They usually have their NRA media there, and that'll be on Media Row. They'll do their radio shows and stuff there. And then, what does their booth look like? I'm trying to remember where the NRA booth is. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm trying to think. I'm not going to think too hard because I'm trying to do this, but yeah, I hear you, but I wouldn't get too worried about three-letter organizations. I'd be a lot more ambitious if they weren't just saying the same thing every 2 or 3 years or the same thing every time we get attacked. If they were offering some leadership in some direction, FPC's doing some strides there. The GOA is, doing things also, but so I'm not giving them shit, but I'm also going to hold them to his task. We can expect a lot more than we're getting out of the three-letter organizations. Now, there's one that's even worse, right? The $16 million one that nobody even pays attention to. They're definitely the worst of them all, doing nothing, jumping on court cases every once in a while, and staying out of in the shadows and out of the sunlight. But aside from the fact that I'd just like to see more national level leadership towards multiple strategies, and well, that's what I'd like to see. And then I would not caveat people that want to just complain about the NRA. Plus, the NRA is an opportunity for us to work together as a bunch of individuals for a common goal to save something that the antis consider to be a major player. So I don't like losing opportunities, letting the other side win while we don't take the opportunity to work together simply because a couple of people make $30 a month when everybody doesn't pay attention to that. We should be able to do multiple things at once. Can you own a revolver and know how to work a shotgun and own a bolt action rifle and be competent with all three? Then why can't we have state level organizations, national level organizations that effort at different things at the same time? And why can't we support and be active in all of those? Right? We can do all that. There's a lot of us, and we're not being utilized effectively or efficiently. So none of the organizations are perfect, and they're all doing half-ass compared to what some kind of Klingon or Vulcan would do, right? All right, so this was another really good week I wrote back in May of 2022. The DC Project dropped their third video and in a series, so we're definitely going to include that. That was an achievement of awesomeness. So we're going to put that under the 2a.orgs, and this was in May. NRA meeting this weekend. Will Wayne get voted out? Nope. Nobody even went to the things to see the actual meetings. Nobody. So, I mean, did anybody? I don't think anybody did. So, anybody that's going to say, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, where were you in that room on the day of the annual meeting, which was May 27th? Think of everybody who was there. How many of them were in there paying attention? If you're going to give Wayne LaPierre the room, you can't complain when he does what he feels like in the room. We could have had everybody on YouTube, every of those other organizations in that room demanding that Wayne be removed. That didn't happen, so you're leaving the NRA to Wayne. That's all there is to it. We've left it to him. I mean, I would have been in that room at least bitching and moaning that nobody was in the room with me if I could have afforded to have been there. I'll get my shit back together. It's not that hard to make money. And then, I can put my money where my mouth is, being at the NRA thing, being in that room and bitching that nobody else is in there with me. ATF representatives continue to pursue infringements. Gun community deals with being persecuted after an atrocity. I'm not listing all the atrocities, but we certainly had a few of those used against us this year. People that didn't commit arson, people that didn't mass poison, people that didn't drive a vehicle into places, people that didn't use anything else, explosives or any of the other horrible things that could be done to show stress or whatever their issues are. They're doing specific things with specific things at specific places, not because they're being manipulated into it, but because amazing amount of effort is being focused on those rare instances, and the people who do those acts are made infamous and given the respect and infamy, I guess, of having something done because of them. So you're literally influencing them at a massive level, and none of that is focused on. So anyway, they used that quite a few times this year. And again, we don't have any national level organizations that do anything else except grasp their pearls and go, oh, look what they're doing again. Well, let's do something about it. Look at what John Lott does. He illustrates every moment of mainstream media. No, that's not sexy enough. That doesn't get enough attention. What is sexy? What happens? What Hollywood tells us is sexy, or what we put value on? So we can change that stuff. All it takes is intent. And that intent is often a result of people not being satisfied. So if we're content and we're satisfied with what we get, guess what they're going to do? Repeat as often as necessary. Once we show them that we're not satisfied, that we expect more, then guess what they do? They dance harder. So a lot of stuff in here for reacting to the mass murder stuff I was pointing to. ATF building a gun registry. That's just a question. ATF, oh, wait a minute. No, they did. ATF's illegal gun registry is searchable. So remember that. I forgot about that. They did make a gun registry this year. So that's also going into the ATF pile. We'll save again. Thanks for the reminder. Let's see. Clover had a bunch of conversations this year. Did a series of podcasts. And then that was the 27th. So then came June 3rd. So the next one will be June 10th. Go down here and click on more eventually. How far are we into this one? 50 minutes. I think we're a little bit further than yesterday. Let's see. the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network did this live stream around the NRA show. That was pretty interesting. It would have been cool if they kept doing that, but they did not. There was a bunch of fallout from the NRA show where everybody just bitched and moaned that the NRA is imperfect in front of them for no reason. Like, the NRA just doesn't stop letting Wayne do what he wants and just be better in front of everybody. So I don't know what that was. Me responding to somebody's, oh, this was the reload, whining about how can the gun community come up for solutions. And I gave them a list of Faster Saves Lives, the DC Project, A Girl and a Gun, Armed Women of America, NAGA, and its chapters all over the USA, Walk the Talk America, 2A for E, Diversity Shoot, APAGOA, the Asian and Pacific American Gun Owners Association, the Firearms Trainers Association, Operation Blazing Sword, and at least 6 student firearm owners groups, Black Guns Matter, Kids Safe, and I said I could go on for a while. These are all groups and projects that have started since 2015, so they all have a 7-year or so established precedent and completely ignored by people who consider themselves mainstream Second Amendment writers when, they can go, oh, why can't gun owners do something to address this? That's why I don't have a lot of respect for the mainstream writers when they can't pay attention to the people they've literally interviewed. It's like, what are you, not paying attention when you interview half of these people? Like, you probably have interviewed everybody on this list. But then you're going to also say that the gun community should. Let's see. The ATF's illegal registry. I think we got that one already. Remember that time when Gizzard didn't do his show? I think that happened like 3 times. So we got the other people filling in. All right, so that was June 3rd. Next, we're up to June 10th, which means I'll bring up June 17th. This is going pretty smoothly, I think, because I couldn't, if I had to sit down and list all these, there's no way I could have listed all this. Let's see. It was next to Hornady on the 2nd floor. Oh, you're talking about the NRA thing? Next to Hornady on the 2nd floor, next to the steps to go down to the basement. There's 2 steps to go down to the basement, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. So Hornady is on, you could call that the east side of the building. So there's 2 elevators and whatever that go up and down, escalators and shit. The one on the left is the big food court. So, the west or east side of it, or the east end of the building, you could say. That's the big food court downstairs. The other set of stairs is closer to like where all the Europe garbage is, all that yellow stuff, all the yellow booths, right? That one goes down to the other food court. That one is on like the center of the big room, and it's the west end of the downstairs room. And yeah, you're talking about the one over on the left. What's the price for a Romanian AK-47 bayonet? Well, it's not necessarily off topic. That would cost anywhere from any amount of money, but it should be on the low end of any amount of money because the Romanians are super inexpensive. Nobody gave a shit about them for years, and they're not good. Most of them are garbage. However, and here's the problem. Here's a picture of some of the variety of hangers. So there's Bulgarian AK-47s, and then there's Romanian AKMs are the most prolific of hanger materials that exist. So this was before I even was really collecting. This was mid-collection. And this is 3 different versions of the dark green canvases. This is an old-fashioned like hanger, like a Russian-style hanger. This is 2 different versions of leather frogs. This is 2 different versions of brown nylon. These are 3 different versions of a more OD green type of different kind of nylon. Then there's, these aren't mine. These are AK-74 Romanians, which when I took this picture in, holy shit, this was mine and Martin's pictures together. So this was like a long time ago. I don't have a thing on here, but this was a long time ago. So that's just the frogs. Now, if you go to the front, let's take a look at the insulators. So this is more of my collection, just my collection. This isn't looking at the backs. Pretty much every one of these has a different frog in back. But now let's take a look at those insulators. So come on, what are you doing? You've got cream, kind of greenish, tan, kind of yellowish almost, green, white, tan again, red. There's black ones, which are Polish, but somebody will stick them on there. There's a white one from a parade bayonet. There's the blackish looking one. It's kind of a brown, gray rubber. But, and then this is again, so what is the price of a Romanian? Point at one. I mean, they're all going to be fairly cheap. This is a NBC, nuclear biological. So it's a green kind of color. This is a white one. That's a parade one. Some of these, like the hanger kind, are super rare. They used to be. I don't know if they are anymore. So then there's the bayonets themselves. Most of them are the same. However, look at their handles now. So you know what I'm saying? Like orange, crazy Bakelite, shitty Bakelite. Not good Bulgarian swirly Bakelite. Shitty Romanian, looks like there's toilet paper thrown in there, Bakelite. So that was orange, shitty Bakelite, red, shitty Bakelite with shit in there, clean red, I don't know, super horrible bad Bakelite. Some browns, then this weird orangey color, like a different kind of orangey color. Now let's look at buttons. Isolated button, no shroud around it. What? Shroud, checkers, bullseyes. It's like Romania said, we hate being communist. You told us to make a bayonet. Well, fuck you. Every 5 minutes, we're going to change the bayonet off. So it's impossible. These are all Romanians, and this is not all of them. These are just the ones I came across and then bought because they were different from all my other ones. But there is no list of all the different ones. So most of them don't cost nothing. Most of them cost like $3 to $7 or $10 maybe back in the day, unless they were in shitty condition. And then every once in a while you get a perfect one, and it was worth like $20 maybe, like a brand new perfect one. But they just had no value forever. And I have no idea what they're like now because G-kits now cost something. And back in the day, G-kits didn't cost nothing. So here's the back of the Romanians that I had. So this is without Martins. So I only had a couple of different greens, a couple of different dark greens, one brown, a couple of different versions of leather, and a parade and NBC. This is the one literally out of Martin's book. I bought it off the guy. Martin took the picture of it, put it in his book, and then I bought it off the guy he took a picture of it from. So I have the one. This is the bayonet that's in Martin's book. And I forget, this is a bayonet that somebody grabbed out of a fire in like Kajul or someplace. And then there's these incredibly rare hanger bayonets that I traded off of Martin one year. I might not have all of these because I might have traded the rare ones back to Martin, the guy who wrote the book. But yeah, the Romanians are nuts. And because of that, I don't even know what to do with them. I'd kind of like to take my crazy collection of them and give them to like, or sell them to like Dragon Man. I can't afford to give it to them, but I'd like to like have them all together. I don't think any of the museums, normally museums don't pay you anything for the stuff you give them, and I can't afford to just give it to them. But Dragon Man said that he would buy some stuff off of me. So if I can, if I can give this to Dragon Man and he can put them up somewhere, if it works in his thing. He really likes US stuff, so I'm not sure if he's that interested, but it would be neat to keep them together on a wall somewhere. Unless there's some AK collection, I say AK museum happening somewhere. But my bayonets are also not fancy. I went for variety and not for quality. So there's probably people that have more resources than me that have this similar collection, because it's not hard to get a bunch of different Romanians. So somebody could have a very similar collection with all brand new specimens. See, I would go for the $5 one, so I could buy 10, for $50, take them home, and then trade off the ones that were all the same and keep the ones that were separate. I mean, I didn't trade them off. I just threw them in a pile. But now I'm selling them. So anyway, if you want one, let me know. I don't mind giving you one. Unless you want like the rarest one I have, then I'll charge you for it. But otherwise, shipping or something. They're not expensive. What are you doing? Why are you snooping around like if something's up? Huh? What's up with that? Why aren't you just sleeping? Why are you snooping around? You're going back down again. I don't trust this dude. He's snooping around. You're looking at the ones that Royal imports. So you're talking about bayonets? I don't know. If you got a link or something, I guess I could take a look. I'll sell you one for $35 though. Anyhow, so that's the Romanian bayonets. Took a little sidebar to talk about Romanian bayonets. Oh shit. Okay, good. And then we'll zoom this back over a little bit. I used to have a bunch of bayonets on the store, and then the store got all mad. So more than likely, some dick kind of reported that I had them on the store or something. Because normally stores don't give a shit about stuff like that, or software doesn't care about stuff like that. But they probably think of it as a gun accessory or some shit. So I don't have them on the store anymore. Thought about putting them on Gunbroker, but have not. All right, so let's see. Another impressive week for Second Amendment advocacy and activism. This was from June 10th, episode 1300 of this show. Some folks are beating old drums, but the messages are evolving away from blaming our property and towards more effective solutions to the real issues and a focus on saving lives. Watching the raw footage of testimonials versus the commentators' summaries they present indicate their motives, views versus solutions. But these have been the typical reaction again and again, time after time on both sides. The fighters, you all right? If you quit eating grass when you go outside, you wouldn't be coughing up grass all the time. The fighters on our side did well in the face of challenges and disinterest. Lucretia Hughes and Amy Swear offered inspirational and effective challenges to the tired old anti-rights, anti-gun owners narratives. Do not overlook their efforts this week. This is just an indication of how and why individual freedom is winning and our positions to defend it are evolving. At a time when they need to marginalize gun owners in order to distract from multiple epic failures of the current administration, their demands are their demand for our rights are falling on educated, enlightened, and newly well-armed minds. So I kind of like that summary, so I'm going to take it, but there was a better summary. I guess I should have been paying more attention, because now that I remember, there was a pretty good summary that I ended up copying and pasting into the thing that I lost yesterday. I'm going to take this section, though. At a time when they need to marginalize gun owners in order to distract from multiple epic failures of the current administration, their demands for our rights are falling on educated, enlightened, and newly well-armed minds. I think that's a good summary of, not like the whole year, but a good chunk of it. Oh, no, mine's not going to be in better condition. Not necessarily. I might have one or two that are in better condition, but looking for a fancy Romanian bayonet is weird, because all the good Romanian bayonets have gone places and done shit. You know, been to epic places doing crazy shit, probably doing dumbass shit, but whatever. We have them now, so they get collected up and sold. So we had the testimonial at the urgent need to address the gun violence epidemic, which was HR 79 and HR 237. So this was the assault weapons ban and the kids thing. So we'll put those down as antis, and hopefully I'll find a summary of those, but this was June. One of the things that's being used against us is the news cycle and the repetition. They can say things enough times and it gets ingrained. And if you can keep somebody just off guard by wailing on people, then they can take advantage because people lose interest or aren't able to keep up or just physically aren't able to keep up with it all. So hopefully this is an effort to make this at least more possible. So they had House hearings on Protecting Our Kids Act, gun violence, and that was also in June. Again, we had a 2 months or a couple of versions prior to this. Somebody was saying, why aren't there people representing, or why isn't the gun community more diverse? And then you've got two ladies just kicking ass at national testimonials for Congress, and probably resisting a bunch of what could have just been walked home if they weren't there. If they would have had the wrong people testifying, it could have been just walked home with the way that the momentum was, I guess. New York lawyer, like New York law, shooting victim to sue Glock. I don't remember that, but I wonder if I should put that in there. Was that a big enough thing to put in there? A New York law that allows somebody to sue Glock? Or was there something else that was letting people sue gun manufacturers? Yeah, didn't Remington? So did somebody else get sued or make a lawsuit against somebody? Got a bunch of reviews of the Pot of Gold auctions in here. So the next one is June 17th. So we'll be bringing up June 24th after this one. Oh, thanks. You got this link. Do I have this closed by now? I guess I do. Oh, I'm looking at it right here. So I got to open this up in a new window, and I'll also save this. And then I will select all, copy, go back to my notepad over here, select all, delete, and then paste, and then save. If I wanted to really be paranoid, I'd save it as a separate file, so I'd have like more than one copy of everything we've been doing here. But I'm not that paranoid. Now that we've saved it a few times, my computer's not being weird. I think one of the other problems is I opened so many tabs yesterday that the browser just couldn't deal with it. So here is the link to the one you guys are talking about. $34. Is this like A1 or do they have quantity a whole bunch? They have 16 of them. Yeah, it looks like somebody oiled it all up and stuff. They all have this for what it's worth. You're not going to find AK bayonets without this unless they've like literally never come out of the sheath. But this first like mark right here, that's where there's a spring in here that's applying tension to the blade. So that's always got this little springy thing right here touching it. And then when you pull it, you drag the handle out, it's going to slide all the way down the blade. So that springy thing slides all the way down the blade. So every AK bayonet that's been in and out of its scabbard once or twice starts getting this. And then every single time you pull it out, it's beating that scrape in there. So they're always going to have this. Otherwise, this thing is super goofy looking. It's all beat up and shitty, and then they like sprayed it with WD-40 and wiped it down or something to clean it off. It's really creepy looking. I don't like it. But some people like that look. I mean, that's not a bad price. It's probably what they cost nowadays. So if you just want to get it, grab that one. But I can get you one with the scabbard, or I mean with the frog and the other shit that goes on it if you want. Kill that link, though, if you would. I appreciate it. Thanks. So, like I was telling DJ, I'm just all paranoid about having links. It looks like they had guns over there. So appreciate that. And then I'll go back to over here. I already saved it. So what is this? Is this what we're literally looking at? No, this was the other one. So let's see, my browser's getting all goofy again. All right, so this was the 17th. Let's see. BCDL had a meeting. What is the bipartisan gun control package? Well, I'm going to call it the Republican gun control package. And that's the one where 18-year-olds lost their rights. 18, 19, and 20-year-olds lost their rights. So you could just be sitting there one day defending your country. The next day, your spouse has no rights. It's pretty messed up. So this was in June also. The other one spent trillions of dollars to Bloomberg because it qualified 10 states that 10 states that are going to get the windfall payout of trillions of dollars over 10 years. And the only way that those states could qualify is effectively if they had systems in place to funnel the money to Bloomberg organizations. Yeah, I appreciate that. I saw that you did that. Right? Thanks. Let's see. So going back, roundtable debate on gun control. Liberals should avoid these arguments about guns. Suppressor freedom law, removing NFA and ATF. There was quite a few of those. Somewhere I've got a list of them all. I don't know if I'll put them all in here or not. So that was the 24th. The next one will be the July 1st already. Probably 2 hours in. Oh, we're doing pretty good. It's only an hour after, or 12 after. Open that up. We'll pause this. A lot of 2A things to keep. Plenty of challenges to continue. We have the best stuff discovered featured here. Time to get in touch with Congress. Let them know their opinion on the recent laws and how they were pushed through. So let's see. I was hoping to do a monthly show this year with gun shop owners. I got Toby on to talk about gun shops, his shop and everything. I was like, hot damn, this is going to be awesome. Every Thursday, I'm going to bring a new gun shop owner on. We're going to talk about the gun shop. And I sort of shit every one of them was like, oh no, I'm too busy. I can't do it. Oh, I'm too busy. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm too busy. I'm like, oh shit. Don't talk about your gun shop for an hour in front of a bunch of people. Let's see. How the gun talks are unfolding. CNN talks about bringing the pro-gun perspective to major media outlets. Whenever I first started watching the gun owners radio out of California, I noticed that they had done just recently before that an interview with Amanda Milius, who is John Milius's daughter, and she's also a filmmaker. So that was pretty awesome to see all of her stuff. The pending tidal wave about to crash down on gun control. So I think they're probably getting ready for the decision from the Supreme Court. The IRS bought $70,000 or $700,000 in ammo. So I guess we'll just put that under kind of like ATF stuff, government agency, same thing. And everybody got mad about that. They get mad that it was up $200,000 from the $500,000 the year before. So I also went through and read that stupid bipartisan whatever. Went through and read the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. So we'll go up and put that in the pro side. I think that's going to be most people's biggest. I'm going to say New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. I think I'm going to have to take a break and take a little Roddy, who is basically a bladder, walking around with 4 tiny legs outside to where you can make water. You want to go make water? Let's go. So y'all are going to get a commercial and a what do they call that? A intermission, because the commercial will only last a minute, and I'll probably take longer to get his collar on and shit. Come here. Come over here. Hello, you gonna go out with us? You going outside? Look who's going outside. It says, I need to do some business. I need to make some water. Well, if you're going with us, you know you're going to want to go as soon as I open the door. Just come over here and put this on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right. Let's go here. All right, well, you're going to get a commercial. We'll be back, and we'll do a lot more of the year in review. Thanks for joining us. If you want to grab something to drink, Oprah has provided some kind of a card underneath of your chair. You can use that to have something delivered. Even if the place is closed, you can just say that Oprah sent you, and they will open and deliver whatever it is you want. Tomorrow, we do a tactical quiz. This will be loud. Anybody stick around for all this? There you go. Yep, 9mm ruins everything. All right, so let's do a quick save over here. So let's see. Looks like Green Berets turned 70 this year. You're welcome. Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. All right, so then we can get to July 1st. Take us to July 8th. All right, so each week we feature the best content that forces another week with a lot to keep up with. Understanding everything important to know what really to focus on continues to be a challenge, as the anti-rights folks are losing any support for their own initiatives. They rely on frustration from our side to wither away our resolve and attention. I'm going to put that in here too. What's that noise? What are you doing? You want to come up here? All right, up. Up it up, up. Go over here. Go over here. I'm not going to say your name. Come over here. Up here. Jump over here. There he is. Come over here. Now you can jump up here. No. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? What is this? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing to me? This dog tried to hug me. Quit hugging me. Go up here. Sorry. I got hugged by a baby. Move over. I think somebody wants to eat really bad. All right, so I don't mean all right, I'm feeding you. I meant all right, I'm just ignoring you. You can move over a little bit. All right. Then we got, the 1,000 being unblocked and loaded. Am I putting that kind of stuff in here? I guess not. We had a couple of 1,000 things this year, or this whole year. Supreme Court's wins, congressional betrayal. So Bianchi versus Frosch, GVR'd. Who remembers what that one is? So I remember a couple of those things happening, and I believe that's a pro at the national level. Let's see. ATF enforcement of the new private sale, Dettle bitches, and whatever. So we got Steve, what's his jerk, appointed to the ATF at some point. I'll put that in there as a placeholder. As director. Big loss considering it's been multiple presidential, what are they called, administrations, that there hasn't even been one. We let this guy create one, and then they just gave him $1.7 billion, or did they give him $1.7 billion times 2? Oh man. So let's see. Then we get I can't remember everything that happened, and I don't know if, and I don't keep track of everything, definitely. You know, I pretty much take the a look at the Second Amendment stuff. So there's massive stuff that I don't pay attention to that I know is in here that I just don't keep track of. So I'm going to put under state level for Texas, Michael Cargill's bump stock lawsuit, because he started that again, and that was in June. There's other things that happen in Texas too. So come on, puppy, don't lean on my keyboard, huh? I'm going to put you back down if you insist on sleeping on my keyboard. He's being a real jerk about where he sleeps on now. Let's see. DOJ. Oh shit! Remember when California made everybody's gun owners made every gun owner's personal information public? That happened this year. And that happened in June. We'll save again. All right, so actually that was July, so I should be putting these down as July. All right, so this next one will bring us up to the 8th, which will mean I need to open up the 15th. All right, so did I pause this? Yes. Did I pause this one? Not yet. All right, now scroll down a ways, open this one. Keeping consistent attention on both the important things in addition to the urgent issues at hand. They win when we cannot continue to fight. We enable 2A activists to fight better with more support. We keep a focus on why we're in the fight and the cool things they would have us forget or ignore. That's interesting. They win when we cannot continue to fight. So let's keep that in the list of interesting things to put at the top here. All right, so 211 and how to use it turned into 988, I believe. So we got 988 this year. I think that'll show up later in the year. The ATF's registry does nothing to stop crime. Independence Day. May issue decision. So the SCOTUS decision. Okay, here we go. Bianchi and Frost challenging Maryland's assault weapons ban gets GVR'd. So that's what Bianchi and Frost was. So that's a more descriptive answer. So we'll put that under pro, and I guess I could put that under state, but I'm not going to. Because that was a federal thing going back to the states, technically. Let's see, a bunch of people were saying that this is the most eventful week. So was this the week that the thing happened? The New York State Rifle and Pistol Association opinion happened? Could be. So next up will be July 15th. I thought I paused this. And then that means we'll open up July 22nd next. Now I'll definitely pause it. And then I'll go back over here. Scroll down a little bit. Open this up. We're up to episode 1345. Oh shit, I didn't have any description of that one, so that's not going to be very helpful for us. We'll scroll down and take a look at the description of this one. Is this thing not paused again? I'll be damned, it's not paused. How does it keep unpausing when I move? All right, this week had some interesting content. One thing I won't even comment on, but will in the future, we will have a conversation about propaganda and censorship in 2022 in the near future. Great week for 2A activists going above and beyond to show up at testimonials. Lots of training topics this week. Came up with a few great points. Learning to shoot like as a kid is like learning to swim or learning to ride a bike. So how is that different from learning to use these things as an adult? Great week for 2A activists going above and beyond to show up at testimonials in DC. So I wonder what I was talking about there. I knew that something happened and I watched it and I was like, oh shit, I can't talk about this yet. But then I knew I needed to talk about it at some point. There's the 2A book club starting up with the Glock book. Looks like I did an interview with Jenny J, 1911, back in July. Oh, somebody went over there to sleep on his little blankety thing. Oh, it was July when Night Strike was shooting with Mark Novak? Holy crap, it's been that long ago? We had the assault weapons ban get pushed through. What was that, 1808, the assault weapons ban? I guess I'll put that in here. Even though that just barely died, barely, that was looming over for a long time. So I guess I'll put that in here. 1808 passed the Senate and went over. Wait, it passed the House and went over to the Senate. Is that how it went? And then it died in the Senate. I learned this year that Stop the Bleed is anti-gun. All right, so that was 22. We'll open up July 29th this time. I'm not going to try opening up 2 because I don't think that was saving any time. So I'll keep trying to pause these things. Man, this thing does not want to behave. So let's go back and open up July 29th. I'll tell it to freaking pause. And I don't know why it freaking won't. I hit pause. And is it staying this time? No. It's not even loading. See, as soon as it loads, it decides to not pause. Stupid thing. How have you noticed how difficult it is to get information among the headlines? We are not required to tolerate these limited, similar opinions. We are not obligated to consume what is easy to produce and profitable for creators. Demand quality and deliberate intent. So ATF caught photographing A&D books. Oh, I guess I kind of remember that happening. That was at some person's store or something, I think. I'm going to put that under an ATF thing, though. It was a big deal. Everybody got upset about. 17 states joined the GOA in fighting the ATF's new frame and receiver role. So that was in July. I'm going to put that here as a 2A org accomplishment in July. I guess I don't need these little dashes in front of stuff. Be consistent. Assault weapons ban pulled on Wednesday. I don't think about that. The HR 2814 repeal of PLACA was pulled. What does that mean? To be voted on Friday. So I don't know why I put pulled on there. But I think that they got voted on, right? And the repeal of PLACA did not go through while the assault weapons ban moved on. So HR 1808, there we go. Assault weapons ban, will it pass? Assault weapons ban, Nancy Pelosi, and the assault weapons media AP style book. What was that about? Hey, what are you doing over there? Why are you being weird and why are you walking around like that? What is it? Why are you walking around like that? Let's see. Why did FPC pick New Jersey for an assault weapons ban lawsuit? Thoughts and diversity on American gun culture. 2A heroes gone but not forgotten. Oh, that was a tribute video the Kingpin did one time. That was pretty good. Hey, buddy, what are you doing down there? Why don't you come up here? I'm sleepy. Come up here. Go to sleepy. Come on. And go to sleepy. Just stay there and go to sleepy now. Let's see. We got an NFOA online town hall meeting. I don't remember why I put that in there. Did anything significant come out of that? I don't know. All right, so there's a bunch from July 29th. The next one will be August 5th. How was my Christmas? I don't know. All right, I guess. We'll click pause on that and scroll down. I got one thing for Christmas, thanks to Chris from 740 for that. All right, so an important week squandered. We had an opportunity this week to push forward. Instead, we sat back and took a break. It was quite a few weeks. I wanted to write that, but just constantly be in the downers all the time. But yeah, that was pretty annoying. We didn't take advantage of quite a few things this year. So let's not forget that Rebecca Schmoy became an elected representative in Kansas. We'll put that under the Kansas stuff. And that was in August. NFA or NICS requires buyers' addresses on all denials. So we're going to put that under bullshit ATF shit. Leaked FBI icon sheet. So that was the FBI thing that said, like, these flags are suspicious and stuff. Got everybody freaked out and worried about it. There was the ATF resignation letter. Rick Actor's training event happened this year. I forget, was it the, I remember what, 11th? Congress subpoenaed Smith & Wesson, 62 3D printed frame. Oh man. So 3D printed frames at gun buybacks has been a thing this year. And anybody who thinks that's not coming back to haunt the whole thing is crazy. So that's, I'm going to call it, is that state level? I guess it's state level, but it's not any specific state. Well, it is New York, I guess. But 3D printed frames at gun buybacks bring in tens of thousands. All right. We'll save again. Good time to save. Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate that. All right. So now we get to, let's see. Different. Oh, we had Great Start Shooting School did her instructor interview series. Let's see, juries. Okay, what the data really shows us. What is a case? Mostly combat, surplus ammo auction. All right, so that was August 5th. We'll go up to August 12th. We'll let it finish loading, and then we'll go pause it. So we'll open this. Try pausing it after. Does that help anything? I'm trying to find out the perfect amount of time. So let's see. 2A news was slow, and it seems like most took the week off in response, which is not the response fighters would do. And that's why I constantly bitch about this stuff. All right, so we do not, okay, here we go. We do not buy a rifle, shoot one round, and think we are done. It takes repetition to achieve results. Civic duty is similar. We keep at it. They learn more each time we contact the representatives. We learn more each time too. Practice, learn, adapt, and improve. Then teach others how to do it too. So I'm going to put that into my list of stuff that I can put in here of stuff from the year. I had a better one. I had a really good one that I had copied and pasted, but I didn't remember to look for it until I had closed too many of them. So I'm not sure where that one was back there. All right, so what do we got here? The Town Hall series. Oh, actually, the National African American Gun Association did an interesting bunch of videos this year. These what they're calling town hall discussions, roundtable discussions. Bill to remove suppressors from the NFA. I forget which one that was. Probably, well, there was actually quite a few. Like I say, I think later on in the year, I listed them all. They all had like a 1% chance. Leaked ATF resignation letter. Talk about the Mouse Party. The Liberal Gun Club had an annual meeting. And this was in August. It's not really a training event, but it kind of is because most of them are like learning about what they're doing. So, August. Teaching women. I guess that's okay. All right, so I guess that's it. Next. Oh, shit. What date was that? That was the 19th, I think. Next, we'll get up to the 26th of August. How long it's taking. Then I got to scroll down here, click show more, then scroll up and pause it, and then scroll back down. I think that's the fastest way to get in here. All right. On Friday, we look back. We win when we educate those who hate us over our misunderstandings. We win when we reach those who need help in times of stress. We win when we teach the foundational importance of individual freedom represented with firearms ownership. We win when few are afraid of what they do not understand. So we had the HR 8460, the ATF Improvement and Modernization Act. So that I already have that one in here. Let's find out. On the pro side, we had HR 8460. Nope. So we'll add that one in here. There's a firearms industry fairness one, and I don't think I had that one in here. And then we had California's SB would use social media to determine gun ownership. So that would be a state level anti one. And California actually made quite a few things this year that made the news, I guess. This was August. We are accomplishing all these things. Here's what was accomplished this week. And let's see. And we get to the first New Jersey CCW permit. So this must have been after, the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association decision started to have its repercussions. One was in Barbecue started doing his What Is series for new gun owners. I don't know if that's still going or not. I don't think so. Cape Gun Works went down to Arkansas and had the tour with Nighthawk, the factory down there. Got Echo, who hosted quite a few shows throughout the year, has had some issues, and Barbecue and some others are hosting some fundraising efforts for Barbecue for Echo. All right, I guess I was on Rapid Fire Radio show this year. I forgot about that. September 2nd is next up. Or did we just do this one? No, this is a different one. So we're going to scroll back up and pause this thing. All right. So let's see. Suicide Awareness September was a thing. non-lethal, the real, oh. Rogue Banshee had some stuff happen to his channel and his videos, and then had some positive help from the State Attorney General of Montana. So that was September 2nd. And boy, this is interesting looking back like this. Some of these things feel like they just happened a minute ago. And I'm looking back 3 months. So going back down to the description of this one, the Senate backed H.R. 1808, 4 Colorado assault weapons bans have been challenged. 19 states and the District of Columbia and the FBI forces people to waive its rights. Let's see. This is the week that Dave Kopp passed, I believe. It was Dragon Man's 30th annual machine gun shoot. I'm going to put that in the list of cool stuff that happened. That was September. The Gun Rights Policy Conference was September 30th through October 2nd. That happened in Dallas? Yeah, Dallas. Let's see. There was an American Suppressor Association update. I think they actually had talked about the suppressor thing in there. The gun makers match happened, so we'll put that in here. I forgot when that happened, something like March or something, so I'll put it earlier in the year here. And that would have been the second annual. This year will be the third, I think. That's how it works out. Pistol brace amnesty. ATF is okay. So pistol brace amnesty. I don't remember what that was all about. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff because I'm also looking at some of the. Dang it, was that the 23rd? I don't remember which one that was. So I'm going to the September 30th now. I was looking at some of the other videos and stuff that I mentioned, and I'm thinking, just seeing a list of the description of these videos with the list of the different stuff I was watching, the podcasts and the different blogs and stuff, and just think back to some of those interviews. Really crazy. So now we had HR 882, an assault weapons license was brought up. So they just went like super heinous with the anti stuff this year. And that was in September. And if this was stuff that they knew they could get, they would go for smaller slices. They did these big, giant cuts, these big scoops, because I just saw that about saving, because they know that they're absurd, and they know that they're going to be able to profit politically from them, and they know that they've got a little repercussion. If it happens, then awesome. But if it doesn't happen, they get to say, "Hey, we tried," and yeah, it's really a crazy cycle. So here's when I found the Reason TV thing about the mass media making shootings worse, is the name of their topic, but really they spend more effort, more time, and more money featuring atrocities that are repeating the thing that they're spending more money on than war. The news spends more time talking about shootings at schools, murderers who decide to use a firearm because they know that the media spends more time, literally has spent more time covering those murders at schools than they have covering all wars, presidential elections, and the Super Bowl. And I believe that's combined, but it may be individually. Either way, it's atrocious, and it has So it's an element that we should not be taking lightly. We don't live in an environment that just is this way. It's this way based on actions of individuals. And we know that the media is run by relatively few entities. So that's agenda at work there. We're not spending enough time thinking about the box that the stuff is presented to us in and who's presenting it to us. And where the fuck do they get off presenting us a fucking box in the first place? Anyhow, Ohio knife preemption. I don't know what that's all about. I guess I don't remember. TV show on guns, more media misinformation from John Lott. Somewhere in here, we're going to see, hopefully, the Girl in a Gun conference. I guess maybe I didn't cover that so much. This is when I decided to chop everything up between 2A news and the radio shows and the gun news, separately. Pretty interesting, but it took a lot of effort to do that. And too much formatting for YouTube. If you put in too much formatting in YouTube, it counts it as characters and it eats away from the amount you can use for actual content. So you really can't format on YouTube without sacrificing length of the stuff. So it's a shitty balancing act over on YouTube sometimes. That's why I usually post this stuff on Substack now, or Patreon usually. Victory in New York. Temporary restraining order granted. I don't even know how New York all went down. You had Oregon and Measure 114, so let's not forget that, because I know at G23 almost forgot about that. So we'll put that down. And that was in October. Or I don't know when that passed. I guess it passed in November, huh? They were just talking about it in October. Everybody was like, oh, that can't happen. It's not going to happen. There was a Pennsylvania rally that had 300 people attend it. And that, do I put that under rallies or cool stuff that happened? I'm putting it under cool stuff that happened. So I don't remember the date of the Pennsylvania rally, but it was right around all that time. 300 people showed up. GRPC had about 150 to 200 attending. And I know that because I counted them in the video. And then AmCon also happened, and approximately 30 people were at AmCon. Again, from counting the room. When October happened, October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Professor Yamane, I'm probably going to do a top 10 of the videos that dude did this year because he's really cutting ground that's different than anybody else is bothering with. And it's not always pretty or nice, but it's doing it. This was him explaining over a series of like 5 videos the standard model of irrationality of defensive gun ownership. Super interesting if you're actually interested in understanding the other side of the debate. Maybe not the best presented, but I should talk. I can't present shit for nothing. So much better presentation than I can do. I just don't agree with some of his shit, but very interesting nonetheless. ATF takes an L. Okay. Monday. Let's see. How to register for SHOT Show, shooting in the woods. Every second matters happened. Rogue Banshee did a show called Are You Ready for the Changing Tactics of Anti-Gunners? That's interesting. All right, so I guess it was October 7th, and then we get to October 14th. We're getting there. Will we do this in 2 hours? No, we won't do it in 2 hours. But I also took a break to let the dog go potty. Laws against removing serial numbers are unconstitutional. Another $2,500 buyback payout in New York. Big Sandy, around October. Barbecue started his 22s for 22. The BCDL had their meeting, another one of their meetings. There's another one of the NAGA roundtables where one of the NAGA representatives was at the University of Chicago Institute of Politics, which is a crazy liberal think tank, I think. And they basically just harped on really bad arguments about guns for a little while. It's kind of interesting. Again, getting people, modern organizations, getting people into current conversations about firearms and gun owners with better than the old my property, my rights complaints that weren't even arguments. They were literally just complaints. When someone's trying to take away your property and your rights, complaining about it is just helping them. That it just tells them like, hey, you're doing the right thing. You're taking away what bothers me. Or, you're doing what bothers me. You're taking away what means something to me. So you can quietly not let them know what matters to you and quietly stop them. Like that's another tactic. And another tactic would just be to be able to disarm their disarm or disable their tactics by educating the people they're pleading to. But anyway, disturbing legal trend with firearms training. Let's see. Some more stuff from John Watt. Mag dumps and mascara. Jaeger's daughters are doing a 2A for women type, or a firearms instruction for women, like a women's focus. So I lost the date here when James passed, but it must have been at some point there. Oh, this is a 13-minute show, so it's not going to have much there. So now we had October, which was a period of time before the elections when everybody was, allowing ourselves to be distracted by all the politician stuff that happens every couple of years. Well, let's see. There was a 24-hour knife live stream for knife rights. The USCCA Expo happened in November. I guess we'll put that in here. That happened in Dallas. I put some of the history in there. Negative outcomes. Nothing really happened as we were getting ready for the election there. So what was this again? This was October 28th. That means the next one was November 4th, election time. Here's where I had a bit of a list of some of the things that were both plus and minus for us, or pro and against gun owners. November was National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week. The Wanamaker show happened. I think I didn't have that in there yet, so we'll add that. It was the same weekend as USCCA, which was a douche move. And then let's see, then you had federal judge strikes down church gun ban under 2A. I don't know what that means, but we're going to put that down as a national level thing. I'm going to put this under New York because they're the ones who are predominantly doing that. And then, that's state level. So I'll go back up here to federal judge strikes down a church ban. So that's a pro thing. And that happened in November. All right, so we had the assault weapons ban sitting in the Senate. We had the ATF Improvement and Modernization Act, which was 8460. There's that one. Then we had the Gun Violence and Safer Communities Act, which was 8957. That was a bad one. Then we had the Responsible Gun Ownership Licensing Act, 8534. So how's that for bullshit? We had another one there. The Stop Harassing Owners of Rifles Today Act. And then here's all these other ones. So Short Act 5036, 8167. Yeah, I think all of these are different. Crazy. So we're going to take all of these crazy different ones and put them in here under Pro. So some of these aren't necessarily guns, like forcing IRS to disarm, forcing the IRS to sell all their ammo. Like, it's kind of pro, you know what I mean? It's kind of not. New Jersey had a sensitive places bill. I don't know, I put that in there, so I'm not going to transfer it on. We got some history there. Then we got ATF losing thousands of firearms to thieves from 2016 to 2019. I guess I'll leave that. That's not new news. The DC project met up in DC. Krabby may or may not be out there or listening, but he filmed for us. Thank you for that. And we posted that, and then the ladies who were featured asked us if we would chop it up into separate pieces, so we're glad to do that. Thanks to Krabby Turtle, yeah, for filming it, and to the ladies for showing up there and doing it. Open secrets on how the gun groups are spending in 2022. Man, I feel like that's a big one. I don't know where to put that, but that's a big one. All right, so this one was November 4th. We'll jump up to November 11. 11/11. Tara's out there, just got parked. Hopefully have a good night. Anytime I think about a truck being parked, I think about one of the best night's sleep I ever had in Albuquerque, parked between two giant semis that were running and just hanging out in the van. Like, man, that was good night's sleep. Let's see. So this is where I put the numbers to these things. So we had 8486, the AIM Act. That thing had a 1% chance. I don't want to put that in here because it'll just confuse everything. The assault weapons ban had a 12% chance, and it did not happen. It just barely got shot down. The 8957 Safer Communities Act had a 1% chance. The Responsible Gun Owners Licensing Act had a 2% chance. The stuff that was on our side, the Short Act, had only a 3% chance. That was probably the best one. A bill to require the sale of IRS ammo, 1% chance. Or restrict the possession of ammo by the IRS, 1% chance. Disarm the IRS, 1% chance. Return Our Constitutional Rights Act, 1% chance. So we had some stuff that was on our side that had little or no chance, but the other side has that stuff. So do we do nothing and let them waste the resources and enable the bureaucracy against us constantly so we have to defend? Or do we those who bring suits and stupid bills that have no chance to challenge? And it's such a waste. That's why bureaucracy can be so frustrating. But instead of leaning into the bullshit, Roman Empire, blah, 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 all governments suck, blah, 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 we should have better, blah, 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 entitled bullshit, go somewhere where people die on the streets. 100 miles south of me in the country of Mexico, an international border that's only smaller than the international border with Canada, and talk to me about how bad off we have it here. We have a government that's lasted through a civil war and 2 world wars and plenty more challenges than that. What we've got is a decent system. What we have is unscrupulous bureaucrats who hang out and shit and just are ticks. Like, do you get mad at ticks, or do you just scrape the ticks off and enjoy life? You move on. You don't let ticks like ruin everything. So there's a lot of moaning and groaning by people who don't understand or have any interest in changing things. But we change things constantly, intentionally or unintentionally. All we have to do is put a little bit of intent to it, and we change things for the good. We do things really fast that way, and we empower each other to understand that it's possible. And that scares people that would rather have us play tetherball or ping pong back and forth over the same issues that they're comfortable with and they profit off of usually. Anyway, so that's enough blabbing about that. Just been reading some of the posts here. After the election, nothing really happened immediately after, so we'll go to December 2nd, and we're pretty close to being right back to where we are right now. We'll pause this one. I'll hit save again real quick like. And scroll down. Open it up. I didn't have any notes. That was a massive waste of time. And then we get the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. That's the last three. So how long did this take? Just over 2 hours. So if I wouldn't have ruined 45 minutes worth of this yesterday by not paying attention and not saving it along the way, I could have had all this done in 2 1-hour segments. So was that faster than, or has this been faster than trying to seek this out from news sources or going backwards through some other person's feed? I do not know. But I do know that this dog is in the last 3 videos. There he is wagging his little baby tail. Right now, he's over there sleeping. He's got his big rolled up towel that he plays with. And he kind of went over, he fell on it, and now it's doing this. Exactly this, except he's over there on the floor. But he looks exactly like this right now, over there on the floor. All right, now I can scroll down and open up this one. What do we got? Pistol brace final rule. Oregon measure on hold for 30 days. The Washington magazine ban. What is up with the Washington magazine ban? Did that happen this year, or has it just been updated? There was attempted assault weapons bans in Michigan and Illinois. I'll just put these in here separately, I guess. I don't know if they went anywhere or not. I don't think they did. There was Maryland had an assault weapons ban debate. This is by no means everything that happened, but it's an indication of some of the stuff that's happening. We had the National Defense Authorization Act be a national level anti-gun thing. That happened in December. A bunch of traitor Republicans voted for a bunch of gun control and just wasted spending in there. Of course, Canada. Holy shit. How do we talk about Canada? I mean, I don't know where to put it. I'll put it at the bottom because it's not our country, but holy crap, did Canada get railed on this year. So equal Canada, boom. Wow, that's all I'm going to put. They got wailed on. Let's see, we got the Georgia runoff, so nobody's going to care about that. DC Project is having a SHOT Show party. I forgot about that. It's off-site, off-campus. Black Guns Matter threatened to not be doing his advocacy work unless he raised $1 million. I'm assuming he raised $1 million because he's still doing his advocacy work. Mike, who joined us for an interview, Michael Schwartz from Gun Owners Radio and the San Diego Gun Owners, had some interesting points this year during that interview, and he kind of, made a good point of how to his positions. What did he put action to his suggestions by being part of this Q&A, I guess, Q&A thing from his one of the local areas in Southern California, and he got up and offered some really good positions to the crowd or to the politicians who offered the Q&A session about some of the shortcomings in their positions and their arguments, and he gave really good descriptions of the positions at hand, like a better point of view on the positions that they were addressing, whatever the abuses were, or the infringements were that they were suggesting. So anyway, it's a pretty short video worth checking out. Just kind of him standing up in this room and offering his POV, his position. All right. Otherwise, nothing else happening on that one. Scroll down under the puppy butt to episode 1455. We have HR 9441, Identifying Mass Shooters Act. I don't know what all that's about, but I'm putting it under the national level anti. Then we got the Senate CDC scrubbed defensive gun use data after meeting with gun control groups. So I guess that's a pretty easy way to summarize that. I listened to this one anti-guy who acts like he's a pro-gun guy talk to the Reload about that. And holy moly, that was one of the worst things to have to listen to ever. What a jackboot liquor. U.S. House of Representatives, and the guy who was the guest, not the guy from the Reload. The guy from the Reload didn't do a great job of telling the guy who's the bootlicker about how much of a bootlicker he is, but he was, he was polite, I guess. U.S. Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime held a hearing examining the search for bipartisan solutions to gun violence. So, how lame is this? I got to take this whole sentence because that's what you need to describe the bullshit national level abuse of power that the senators showed when they brought a whole bunch of victims of the atrocities in Texas back to Washington, D.C. so that they could exploit their stories and force them to testify yet again in front of a few senators who took the time to come down there to get their sound bites and then immediately left the room. It was a mockery of actual system that we got there for the getting things accomplished. This was just a complete waste of time. You could tell it was a abuse of the power that they still held while they still held it before it goes into whatever they're calling the lame duck session or whatever. Connecticut governor said he's going to reintroduce his assault weapons ban bullshit. So everything they did earlier in the year to defend and challenge the governor's push for an assault weapons ban looks like it's all back on the table soon. So they get to redo all of that work. The search for bipartisan solutions to gun violence. That was a testimony that Ghost had going for a while. And I don't know. Look at all the crazy bullshit. So this is the bipartisan solutions to gun violence. This happened in December, and this was a separate thing that happened separately from all this other crap, I'm pretty sure. It is. Those ATF rolls out a new Form 4473. So that happened in December. We'll put that down in the bullshit ATF stuff. All right. A bunch more stuff. Gizzard retired from working. He doesn't work anymore. And from just a few days ago, the omnibus spending bill, $1.7 billion, 4,100 pages. And they wanted you to vote on that like within a few days or whatever, overnight or something crazy. Miller versus Bonita. Miller 2. So that's national level. And I guess that's pro. So we're going to put that down here. Miller versus whatever, declared unconstitutional. And then that'll be December. Tennessee SBR freedom law, I guess, happened at a state level towards the end of the year because it happened in December. And I don't know what that was, if that's a suggestion or if, oh, and then New Jersey passed their bullshit thing. So is New Jersey already in here? No. New York and then New Jersey, which was their just a pile of stuff that they voted on it. Or the governor voted. I don't think it was the people voted on it. The governor just pushed it through. Let's see. Then Four Boxes Diner did post a video just last week. I mentioned it, talking about how these losses aren't as bad as we think. That if you look at it, there's cycles. So when bad times create hard men create easy times create soft men create hard times. So when you look at that cycle, the bad things that get pushed or the infringements that get pressured or pushed create the resistance to that pressure. So, it's not pleasant and it's uncomfortable for the bad parts or during the pressure, but they'll respond. The response will be to object and to resist. And once that happens, that knowledge will be passed along to others in other states, and it'll be more difficult for that stuff to be presented because they'll know that there's solutions to it. And they'll, at some point, they're going to keep changing strategies, but at some point, the unaware, uneducated, I don't mean stupid, but just not understanding people in the middle won't be as misunderstood, or they will understand the situation and they'll understand the control nature of this whole thing, and they'll have less and less efficiency, whatever it is. So I'm just going to go through quickly because it's bugging me and see if I can't find that initial verbiage that I thought was so good yesterday, and we'll summarize it. That's about it. So it'll be less than 2.5 hours here. I've only been online for like 7 hours or something today, 7.5 hours today. But thanks to the super chats to people earlier, every Friday we say thanks to the super chat people for the whole month. So every super chat goes into a big thank you opportunity on Fridays when we do this show. On Friday, the Daily Gun Show Friday edition. So that was not it. That was the first. Then we can get to this February one. I think I can open these a little faster. Maybe not, because I'm not trying to read everything on them. I can hopefully just pause, and see if that actually worked. It did not. Just pause. Don't backwards. Stupid. All right, well, let's assume it's not in this one because I'm not going to keep following this one. Oh, man. So, yep, each of these is just taking some time. So we'll pause that again and scroll down. It's not that one. I just have no idea how many shows in it was yesterday when I found that. And I wasn't reading it today. Dang it. Minnesota, oh, that was that Minnesota thing again. Oh, shit, where was I at? Maybe April 22nd. Let's see, G23 is saying the judge in Washington hasn't made her decision yet. She's supposed to have it by the 23rd of December. Okay, another one that didn't have it. Wow, look at how long it's taken this browser to open these things. So that was April 22nd. We're up to April 29th. Just open one at a time, I guess. Maybe I can just let it play if I'm only looking for that first sentence. Maybe not. So, yeah, I do not remember. I guess there was nothing to read on some of these. That's why I wasn't reading the intros to some of these. It's not that I forgot. It's just that I hadn't written anything as an intro. So it looks like about halfway into the year, to a third of the way into the year, I started to leave like commentary at the beginning. But not quite yet. So that was May 6th. Now we're at May 13th. This is deja vu for the third time. YouTube's gonna be like, why do you keep opening up all these old videos over and over and over every night? Elon, nope. So I'll give it two more. May 20th and June 3rd, just to see. Hopefully I didn't skip the important one there. But I may have. Definitely didn't get it there. And doesn't look like I got it here either. Oh, no, I do. Another great week for 2A. We had attacks. We have had more than one fight ahead. We have more resources, experience, and participants than ever. Communication and awareness are working to inform and unite the gun community. Attacks that intend to shatter us could just as easily strengthen us. So I'm going to add that to the beginning and act like that's what I was looking for. I don't think it was, but maybe it was. I don't remember. So add that there, though. And that might have been actually what I was trying to save when the thing glitched yesterday. So let's see where we're at with characters. So if I scroll down just a bit, we're at 4,776 of 5,000. So I really can't even hardly shove any more into here. But since I've already done it, I'll copy this over to this notepad just in case something glitches, even though I really can't anymore. And since I've already got this saved anyway, I'll just save it with the updated data. Now I can close it. This video now has a description that is very long. It is 4,700 and something characters. The YouTube thing can only hold freaking 5,000. So we've literally filled the entire description of this thing. But here's what we're going to do. Since YouTube's description is already known scientifically to suck it, it both sucks and blows. It's very difficult, but it does both. We are gonna go over to Substack. Ah, shit, what did I open? Facebook, stupid. Go to Substack and go to here, I guess, dashboard. It's all zoomed in funny. We'll say new post. Oh, it's probably zoomed in from the last weekly wrap up. We'll zoom back out so it's normal. We will paste all of, oh man, you serious? Look at that. No formatting at all. So we'll undo. And what we'll try to do now is go over to this, which has some kind of formatting a little bit. Well, at least it's a HTML version of what we just seen or what we just had copied. And we're going to highlight the external HTML piece. So the piece that you can see on the website technically. And we're going to copy and then see, can we paste without formatting? That didn't work, so we're going to paste without formatting. And now we have some formatting. It's weird, but whatever. So then everything 2A in 2022. Copy, make that the title. Whoa. So what happens on YouTube if you try to copy a part of the title is it's weird. So we'll just copy the entire title, paste it, and then delete everything we don't want. And then for a subtitle, we'll say Daily Gun Show episode. What episode is this? That's a good question. What episode is this? It should say up at the top, I thought. I guess I didn't put it in there. So 1462. 1,462. Will we get to 1,500 episodes? Time will tell. All right, so some of the points then where they win when we cannot continue to fight. Then I have this little thing here. I'm going to make that a quote. Wait, how do I make that a quote? I make that a quote by doing this. Block quote. See what it does? It separates that so that it's a little bit separate. And now it's a little separate thing. Then we can go to this stuff. And this is really what I brought it in here for. So now I can go to all of these and make them bullet points. Much easier to read. So much easier to read. We'll bold that, but we'll make this a title, a heading. So now national is easy to see. The anti is easy to see. All of this stuff is easy to deal with. Oops. All of this stuff is easy to deal with because it'll be bullet points. Much easier. Now we can say state level should be heading. Alabama can be, I mean, if I had a lot of time, I would do this to each state. I'll do it to Alabama, Ohio, Indiana, and Georgia because they got their constitutional carry, but everybody else can effectively go suck it because I don't have time to fill in all those bolds. Then we can go to ATF issues and we'll go to heading. We'll hit all of these different bullshit things the ATF did and turn them into bullet points, pun intended. 2A orgs, guess what? Heading number 2 again. These 3 things that happened, bullet points. Oh, see what happened? I highlighted the wrong thing. So highlight this, bullet points. Canada, even though it's another country, we'll make it a style 3. So it's not quite as big. And then stuff, let's say 2A events, 2022. Oops, 2022. Make that a style and put this all in bullet points. All right, now we'll make that a heading 3 also. We'll make this a link. Can I drag and drop? No. I can drag and shift, but that sucks. So copy and paste and create that link. We'll give this a little italic because it's classy. And now we'll go up here and see what we're doing is we're removing some of these deals when they're underneath of the one that they're above kind of thing so that this is a little easier to read. All right, so that should be a lot easier to read. We got the gun makers match, we got the train and learn, the NRA meeting, gun prom. See, so that gets to be a little easier. Now, if I had a bunch of time, I would do that to all of these. I guess I can't do it to all of these. Pennsylvania rally. Now, I don't have everything in here. I just have the stuff I was able to harvest, I guess, or pull from my descriptions. So first, I would have had to have decided it's worth putting in my descriptions. Then I would have had to do a description. And then I would have had to leave it up there because sometimes if it's a bad show, I just delete it. If it's like a horrible show, I'll just delete it. There's no need for have everything that ever happened on the internet. But so there's a lot of stuff that could definitely be missing from this non-scientific attempt at archiving everything that happened in 22. But that being said, this is the most accurate scientific explanation of every single Second Amendment thing that happened in 2022. It's an unprecedented achievement, an effort that goes further than any other channel has even attempted to do live or unlive. Even if they tried to do this with paid interns, no, and they got plenty of money. I mean, there's channels out there that make tons of money. None of them even contemplated sending one of their interns out to do what took us, 2 hours to do? And they probably could have done it better, right? Because they get paid to do this kind of shit. So We're going to do what they won't do. We're going to do what they say can't be done. We're going to do what they wouldn't even consider contemplating. And we did it in the middle of the night, and we did it live. And hopefully you've seen that there's no magic here. It's just sitting down, effectively rolling up your sleeves in a digital way and plowing in. Like, you think some script on how to do this or something, you just do it. And then if you do it wrong, like yesterday, let's do it again. It's pretty easy. So we didn't just do this. I could just sit around doing this. I'd go completely broke trying to do this. So instead, we've got Patreons. Those Patreons subscribe to what we do. They buy us a cup of coffee. Some of them buy me lunch each month, once a month. Some people say, here's $25 for lunch. And that adds up, and that allows me to spend time on projects like this. Some people will say talking shit. Other people will say being real about what's been going on and what we could have available to us and offered to us if we had, I don't want to say what I want to say, but if we had national level organizations that provided leadership and actual nuance in their approaches. What I try to do on Fridays is offer insight to those who I see out there doing stuff that's awesome, and those reporting on the stuff that's awesome. And what we do is do stuff like this every once in a while to acknowledge those folks on whose shoulders we stand, to help clarify and put bullet points, literally, to what happened last year and who did it, and offer it with hopefully some interesting elements. And we do it in the middle of the night for the people that reset the world, the people that are unappreciated, who get things done while everybody else is sleeping, and then are completely ignored tomorrow when they all wake up and go, oh, we deserve a good, clean planet with everything done and finished and ready to go. So thank you all for joining us. Listen to me complain about people that are up in the middle of the day being obnoxious, and congratulating all the people that do all the real work in the middle of the night. With that, we'll say thanks again to our Patreons. There's that scroll at the bottom of the screen saying Patreons make it possible for us to spend time on projects like these. We really do thank you. I don't know if I'll be able to do this again next year, so this may be the last of all years that we're doing this kind of stuff, but it may be the beginning of a whole new thing. So if you want to make that future the way you want it, consider joining our Patreon. Consider helping out with others who are doing stuff through the Patreon or other platforms. And we'll have a commercial at the end here for our Gear website store. We have some new leather stuff over there I've been working on. We have a bunch of 3D printed stuff. Of course, we have the posters that are made by Owl and Anchor over in California. We've got the calendars for next year with a lot of the stuff that we have over on Gear or on guncalendars.com. Those calendars are available, as well as a bunch of new patches that we had made that I have yet to pay for. So it would be really cool if people bought a bunch of the patches that are new so that I can actually pay for them and not ruin my relationship with the people that make patches. Thanks again for joining us. There's that commercial at the end. Gear Websites is the place. Some of you, oh no, DJ's already been dropping links, so thank you very much for that. I hope you all have a great end of the evening and beginning of tomorrow. And we'll be back tomorrow with the tactical quiz, where we have a little fun and hopefully don't take everything so seriously that it's boring, because guns are pretty awesome. Gun community is definitely pretty awesome. And it's even funner when you can share that with other people.
Tonight's episode, The Endangered Species.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com. Thank you. Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.